Okay, it is 6:30, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Street Life Committee of Community Board 8. My name is Abraham Salcido, and I chair this committee. A few rules of the road before we get started. I'm going to go down the agenda one by one and invite each applicant or their representative to state their name, and then please give us a summary of the application. To aid in the review of this committee, if you could, for the record, even though it's in the application, just reiterate the hours of operation, indicate if there's any outdoor space in the front or in the back, and the nature of your application. And if there's any existing or pending violations of any kind. Okay, so after I invite each applicant to speak on their application, I will then inquire whether there are members of the public who wish to speak to that application. And then if none, I will then go to my fellow committee members for questions, comments, reactions. Okay, also reminder that any decision taken here is a recommendation, which will go to the full board meeting, which is on next Wednesday, the 13th, I believe, and where the full board will then vote on that application. Before I hand it over to Zachary, one last thing, just a reminder, so we are in a open meeting being live streamed and recorded. We have a variety of topics to be discussed, and while we may have people may have differences of opinions, it is important that we remain respectful of each other, even if we may disagree, and that everyone conduct themselves with decorum. If at any point there is any behavior or conduct that is not becoming of that, then I will ask the moderators to mute, and then that person will be muted and will lose their opportunity to speak on that matter. Additionally, when speaking on a topic, let's keep our comments contained to that topic. And if there's any new or old business, there will be an opportunity to discuss more general topics then. Okay, so with that, Zachary.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the co-chair and the presenters. Following the presentation, the chair will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by going to the reactions icon, pressing raise hand, not the wave or thumbs up buttons. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you are on the phone, it is *9 to raise hand and it is *6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the chair calls on you. The chat is for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the chair. They will not see the chats. If you have an older version of Zoom, you will need to go to the participants section where you will find the raise hand feature there. Please do not raise your actual hands or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me. I'm here for support.
Great, thank you. And then one last logistical thing. I want to make sure I have all of the committee members tallied up properly. I have myself, Cause, Mrs. Brown, Russell, Barbara Rutter. I thought I saw Lori Forrest join. I did. I think I also see Evan Meyerson, yep. And then Casey as a public member. Is that, do I have everyone? If I missed anyone, feel free to holler at us. Okay, and I will try to keep track as people join, but if I miss anyone, do let me know. Great. So with that, I will go to the first item on the agenda. Do I have the representative or applicant for item number 1, which should be 1A, Happy Chef, DBA Cascalete?
The representative, Frank is here. Frank forgive me if I butcher it, Polillo. You are unmuted and you're able to speak.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Yeah. Hi, Frank. How are you?
Well,
good.
Zach, I think, is also my client.
I think I see someone says Cascalote as the name. Is that the applicant? Oh, yep. She's waving her hand. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, hello.
Great, welcome. Okay, Frank, do your magic.
You guys actually met with this applicant a few months back. The partner who presented is no longer involved in this application. As a result, I'm not sure you got the whole picture, so we wanted to make sure you understood. The only issue that you didn't have last time is the fact that there was a backyard in the space.
Okay.
Plan to
And
close the backyard nightly at 10 p.m. And I wanted the community board to be aware of the fact that we do have it and we'll be using it. In all other respects, we're happy with the stipulation that was crafted, I believe in December or January.
okay, so then just for reiterating for the record, hours of operation, Monday to Thursday, 11 to 1, Friday, Saturday, 11 to 2. Food, drink ratio, 85% food, 15% beverages. Okay, great. Do I have anyone from the public on this item? Okay, seeing none, I will go to cause.
Yeah, I'm going to ask this question to all the applicants. Is there a structure on the sidewalk and is there a structure on the street?
No to both.
None of those?
None to both, Kaz. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Our outdoor area is our backyard.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, so then for all applicants, as you do present, to save cause asking the question, if you have any sidewalk space that you're using or any of the street enclosures, do let us know. Okay, and then with that, I think I saw Barbara next.
First of all, what type of restaurant? Can you just tell us what the stipulation was? I don't remember. Do you know, Abraham? Do you hear me?
We hear you. I'd have to pull it up real quickly. 1 second. In the meantime, Frank, do you want to tell us a little about the cuisine or jog our memory?
I believe it's a Spanish restaurant. I don't have the specifics in front of me. Give me 2 seconds. I'm sure I can find the menu in here.
So, hi, it's actually going to be a Latin bistro. So we're going to have Latin food of all types, all kinds, with the concentration of Mexican ingredients.
Great.
Great.
Thank you very much.
And the stipulation was,
Same type of restaurant, yes.
but there was a stipulation, you said?
We did agree to stipulations that you guys came to in, I believe, December of 2021.
This was for the January resolution. It looks like this was our standard stipulations.
Time closings and things like that?
Bar
Great.
call.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, Mrs. Brown.
Yes, thank you. Now, the stipulations were closing at 10 p.m. Is that correct?
So that was the new proposal that they have regarding the rear yard, which would be consistent with what we ask of all applicants who have a rear space, correct?
Well, is there going to be live music or piped in music or? Can somebody answer that for me, please?
I think the applicant is muted.
It's recorded music only.
Recorded music, okay.
Yeah.
Has there been any complaints?
Place isn't operating yet.
Okay, all right. Is it ADA compliant?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I printed out the paperwork and I'm sorry, I don't have it before me. I had some questions. But other than that, I can support, the application. So Move to call the question.
Okay, I'll take that as a move to approve. I will second that. And then I will say, let's call the question. Does anyone oppose or object to calling the question? If not, then I will go for the roll, and I will say this is a motion to approve. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, raise your hand. Otherwise, this will go down as an approval. And voting list, seeing none. All right, great. Thank you very much and good luck. Thanks for coming in again.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, bye-bye. Great. Moving on to item 1B. Do I have a representative for BJ Rock, 1664 First Avenue? I think that's
If you're here, Benjamin or Johnny, please raise your hand using the participants icon at the bottom of the screen.
I saw them before earlier, but maybe they dropped.
Yeah, they were. I saw reps from
Yeah,
when they were here.
Okay, I'll give it another second. If not, then we'll just come back to them. Okay, we will come back to them once they're back online. Going to item 1C, do I have a representative for 5 Iron Golf?
Oh,
I see Bella. Hi there.
5 Iron. I'm also here with Henry as well from 5 Iron.
Right. Okay, great. Tell us your name and tell us about the application and the details we've requested.
I'm Bella. I'm with Helbrun and Levy, and then I'm representing 5 Iron Golf, and I'm here with Henry. And so I'll start and I'll hand it over to him to explain
Okay.
the indoor golf is with an 80.
Bella, I'm sorry, can I just pause you? We're having a little bit of trouble with the audio. I don't know if you're cutting in and out.
Is now better?
I think that's a little bit better, so let's try it out.
How about now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm Bella and I'm with Helbrun and Levy, and I'm representing 5 Iron Golf, and they're at 1681 3rd Ave. And so this is an indoor golfing space with a food and drink component. They currently have 3 locations in the city and are across the US, and they have 1 location in Singapore at the moment. They're applying for full liquor. The hours are Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Sunday, or 12 a.m., sorry, and then Sunday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's background and recorded music with live music on occasion for private events. There's 1 bar with 14 seats, 9 tables with 2 seats. There's 9 golfing simulators. This is where the tables and the seating will be. The menu is American casual. There's no outdoor seating and no DOT dining. The space is primarily in the basement. The entrance is on the ground floor. The majority of the space, though, the simulators, the bar, everything is downstairs in the basement. There will be no dancing. There will be 10 TVs, 10 speakers, and since there it is in the basement, it is ADA accessible. There's no windows, and at this time there is no soundproofing, but it is in the basement of the building. And then I'll give it over to Henry to answer any more questions.
Okay, and can you just, I didn't see it on the application, the food drink ratio approximately?
What was that? Oh, the percentages?
Yeah. Yeah.
70% to 30%.
I'm sorry, one more time?
70 and 30.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, everyone. Happy to answer any questions that you have about 5 Iron or how we'll be operating on the Upper East Side. But yeah, Bella covered the high level.
Okay, great. Thank you, Henry. And just to reiterate, sounds like you have no outdoor space of any kind, whether in front or in rear. ADA compliant, and we've gone through the hours and the ratio. So first I will go to any members of the public on this application. I see Ben has his hand up, but Ben, I think maybe were you from the prior application?
Yeah, he's from the second agenda.
Okay. Ben, we'll come back to you. We lost you for a moment, so we'll come back. Okay, so seeing no other hands from the public on this item, I will then go to Mrs. Brown.
Thank you, Chair. Is there going to be food delivery?
No, there is not.
Okay. Has there been any complaints from any of the restaurants, establishments in their portfolio? And if so, how were they cured?
Yeah, we've never received any complaints. We have 3 locations currently in New York City alone, Flatiron Financial District and in Herald Square. And we've never had a complaint before.
Okay. And you may have mentioned, but what is the type of food that's being served?
It's American fare. We call it, elevated bar, but your sliders, flatbread type food.
Okay. And is there soundproofing?
Currently, there's not a plan for soundproofing. We are in a basement space, and it typically doesn't get loud because it's 95%, recorded, piped in music.
Okay. Because I think in your application, it's noted that there's going to be a disc jockey.
I believe we put that on the application because we have events in our spaces, and man, once in a blue moon, an event client asks for that. I think that's why it's there. But like I said, it almost never happens.
So on special occasions, you'll have a live DJ, is that what you're stating?
Right.
And on those occasions, will you have security that's going to monitor the attendance outside and so forth? And
Yes.
okay. Mr. Salido, I appreciate it if that is stipulated regarding the disc jockey, that on occasions when they do have it, that they will have security to monitor the customers.
Henry and Bella, is that agreeable to be included? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes, that will be in the proposal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Barbara?
Hi, thank you. I just do want to ask about noise. So it is a video games, I assume. Am I right? Is that what I'm understanding?
It's not. It's golf. So it's simulator bays. If you thought of almost like if you've ever seen a picture of Top Golf, which is an outdoor driving range, this is indoor golf. So it's nothing. There's nothing video gamey going on in the space.
So there'll actually be they'll actually.
Yeah, hitting balls with clubs. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that there won't be that, and I assume there's apartments above on the second, third floor and so on. And so you don't think that the noise will travel up, that there will be, that isn't your experience?
It's not. No, we're on a second floor in Herald Square. We're in a basement in Financial District, and we're on a third floor in Flatiron. We've never had a noise problem in operating the business.
Okay, thank you. I thought it was video games where people scream and yell. I've heard when I was
No,
there.
it's not.
Okay.
Not quite. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And good luck also.
Thank you.
Barbara, can I take that as a motion to approve? Okay, thank you. We'll second that. And then I'm going to call the question. Does anyone oppose calling the question? Okay, seeing none, and then I'll go to the roll. So this is a motion to approve with the stipulation relating to the security on live music events occasions. And so if you're voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, raise your hand, committee members. Otherwise, this will go down as a 9-0 approval. And we will say good luck to you, Henry, and thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Great.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to circle back to item 1B, which was BJ Rock. Hello, Ben.
Yes, hello. Sorry about that, guys. I couldn't figure out how to raise my hand.
Not at all.
I just want to make sure my clients are on. Barry, I see you guys. They're waving. Shay O'Sullivan. I don't know if you can
Okay,
unmute them.
I see them.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, they can unmute.
Okay.
Yeah.
there they are.
You hear us?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are
Okay,
you?
so-
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin Korngut. I am the lawyer for BJ Rock 1664 Inc. This is an application for an on-premises liquor license at 1664 First Avenue. The premises was previously operated as East End Grill. The two of the principals have extensive experience in Community Board 8. Barry Spellman and JJ McHugh have both operated Biddy's Pub at 301 East 91st Street and DTUT at 1744 Second Avenue. And they also have, Mr. Spellman previously had other locations in CB8, which are now closed, at 1696 Second Avenue and 1629 Second Avenue. They also have other locations throughout the city in Astoria. Essentially, DTUT is closing down due to the inability to extend the lease with the landlord. So they're looking to open a new business in the same neighborhood. They know the neighborhood well, and they've operated there for very long without incident. It's essentially fully built out. It's a turnkey operation. So they're going to be making basically just minor cosmetic alterations to the space. It's going to be operating as a pub, which they have extensive experience doing. There'll be no outdoor space, one bar. The hours are as listed in a questionnaire. Barry, Dara, or JJ, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
No, that's basically it, Ben.
Just a couple of clarifications. So are you going to be utilizing any of there's no rear space on this location. I know that. And are you using any of front outdoor or street space?
No, there's a bus stop right outside the front door, and there's a small garden that's fenced in, so there's no really space to do an outdoor space and have people be able to walk to the sidewalk.
Okay. And then, if you said it already, my apologies. I see the food drink ratio is 20% food, 80% drink. What type of food is contemplated?
It's like an American menu, standard bar food, small plates. Plan on doing a brunch menu.
Yep.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, great. Thank you. I know that space well. We will miss and continue to miss DTUT. So I will now go to see if there's any members of the public on this application. I see Courtney. Hi, Courtney.
Hey guys, nice to see you guys. So I'm sure that they don't need my support, but I certainly just wanted to jump on quickly. You guys know I'm like 2 days out from opening up, not a speakeasy, but I definitely wanted to be here for this because when Barry told me, obviously it broke my heart to lose him as an immediate neighbor. But I'm gonna say what I said to him was don't sign any bullshit leases. We don't work as hard as we do to not make any money. And it breaks my heart, especially since they survived the pandemic. They definitely did what we all had to do was transition. They did the to-go. I mean, obviously between Biddy's and DTUT, we push a lot of people there. It's nice to have additional bars on the block, but it's nice to know also that they're not going too far. They can keep Stella and Fly Company. They can keep Comigo Company. So certainly want to keep them in the hood and just wanted to just be an additional voice of support for them.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And good luck to you as well. Okay, Mrs. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm looking at this sample petition that was just sent recently.
Mhm.
And I have some concerns with regard to the hours from noon to 2 a.m. and Thursday through Saturday, noon to 4 a.m., Sunday noon to 2 a.m. with an 80-20 drink food ratio. I have a problem with those hours. And this specific petition, it shows at the bottom, Brooklyn Community Board, #1. So
That's just a form of petition. I would note that there are signatures from people in the building in support with the hours disclosed. So they did reach out to people in the building.
I see that. How many people reside in the building?
6 people.
Are you saying SIX or 60?
6.
Six, SIX.
Okay, thank you. Okay, because the petitions that I have here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 knows that they do not reside in the building, and only 3 yes. So
at the time of day we got the petition signed, there was only 3 residents at the building at the time. Three were not in at the time. At the time we got it signed.
well, who are these other no's? That's a little puzzling.
That means they live within 2 blocks, 500 feet of the building. The no's mean that they do not live in the building. They live within 500 feet of the building.
Okay. Well, would you consider reducing your hours during the week? I mean, you're talking about 2 a.m. and you have people who are working. And
This-
since you're only
This location has been licensed. The previous license was, I think, for 15 years, and we're trying to track that down. The SLA has made it a little hard to track down information going backwards, but we believe it was licensed before them, and we know the previous licensee had no restrictions on their hours, so they were operating until 4 a.m. 7 days a week. So what we've proposed, the 2 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, is actually a reduction from what was previously in there.
well, my concern is this is post-pandemic. And so the hours that you cited were pre-pandemic, and you have many, many people working at home. So I'm asking that you be considerate and adjust the Monday through Wednesday hours and the Sunday hours. Other than that, I can't support this application just based on the hours, the 2 a.m. And so if you would consider that.
What is there a time that you're?
Yes, I would prefer midnight during the week.
uh,
Monday to Wednesdays, noon to midnight.
We've made extensive, we've posted notices all throughout the neighborhood. The community board typically does not ask, petition signatures are not something that's required. We feel we went above and beyond. We've reached out to people in the building. We've posted the notices. No one that lives close by is at this meeting to oppose, as far as we know. So midnight, I mean, this is a tavern. We're not, we're not saying that, we're not masquerading as a restaurant. We acknowledge that it is a tavern. They make their money through selling drinks, and that's supplemented with food. So a midnight closing, 4 or 5 nights a week is not going to work for them.
Well, thank you for sharing your comments, but we're living in a new era now. And
You're living in an era where businesses are shuttered. This is a shuttered business. If you want it.
You, and I accorded you the courtesy of letting you speak, I'm asking that you do the same. Thank you. I'm just asking that you consider that. That's all I'm asking. Considering people work at home. Thank you.
I would. So let's. Thank you, Mrs. Brown. So Ben and team. Don't need to respond now. We'll go to the other comments first, and then we can come back and have the conversation on that before we move that forward. I see a hand from Dylan. Dylan is Dylan a member of the public?
Yes, hi, thank you very much. I just wanted to speak to the concerns about it going past midnight. This sounds like a place where I might want to go, and I would be, I would very much appreciate if it were allowed to go till 2 a.m. I will say I hear the comments about work from home being a new era, but as someone who's currently hybrid, so sometimes working from home, sometimes going into the office, I find that the ability to work from home actually makes it easier for my sleep since I don't have to wake up earlier for a commute. So in a circumstance where lots of people don't have to wake up as early for a commute and where they're able to stay out a little bit later, with that in mind, I do think that 2 a.m. actually becomes more reasonable in this new era. That is, of course, just my own personal experience as someone who works from home and as someone who enjoys going out. But I would ask, just as a member of the community, that they be allowed to serve till 2 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Dylan, and are you in the vicinity?
I am not in the vicinity for noise, sadly. This is just a place I would like to go. So I do not wish to misrepresent myself on that front.
No, just wanted to clarify. Thank you so much. Okay, I know Miss Barbara was first, and then we'll go to Russell.
Hi. I'm going to ask one question and then make a statement about the noise. Did you say there's only 6 people? I know the building well, I know the landlord. Why is there only 6 people in there?
Because 6 apartments.
6 units.
What?
6 units, 6 apartments.
I'm surprised to hear it. It's it goes around the corner. It's a different one. I want to say that I live on 2nd Avenue, but my bedroom faces 1st Avenue. There many years ago, I don't even know if it was East End, but they used to have very loud music that came out. They closed the door, as I assume you would. I hear nothing, and I did hear it before. I would not at all be bothered by the noise. The noise, actually, I did hear from the bedroom when there is noise going out. And East End was a very good neighbor, as far as I'm concerned, and I assume you will be also in the same way and in the same spot and so on. East End did use the outdoor, particularly during COVID, and it was difficult because it is very hard to walk by. So I'm very pleased to hear you're not going to be using the outdoors. It's a very narrow space.
Thank you, Barbara.
I will welcome you. I will vote for you.
Thank you. Russell.
Thanks. So this is really more, I guess, a question ultimately for Mrs. Brown, which is because I agree with Barbara. I mean, to me, the hours aren't that concerning, and I just wonder if there's some other sort of something else that the applicant can do to allay concerns about noise that would be happening late at night. I mean, again, seems like somebody who is a responsible applicant and all of that, but I think if there are just sort of assurances or something, it's a question for Mrs. Brown, if there's something that would help allay your concerns, that maybe the information the applicant can provide or something along those lines.
The windows be closed at 10 o'clock.
So in regards to that, in terms of noise, 2 a.m., from 12 to 2 a.m., we'll probably only have a handful of customers. We're talking anywhere between, on a weekday, we're talking anywhere between 5 to 12 customers from midnight to 2 a.m. That few late night crowd, but music will be turned down to fit the needs. There will be no live music. The windows will be closed. We already have soundproofing in the ceilings from the previous tenants. For weekdays, yes, we can't see much noise coming from anywhere between 10 to 12 to 15 people with the windows closed and the soundproofing and the music down on particular days. So I can't.
And also, we've been operating in Biddy's Pub for the last 19 years without issue. And also in DTUT, we've been there for 9 years and to minimum noise complaints. And anytime a neighbor did come down to complain about something, like, we work with the neighbors. We're not trying to be a menace. So our record should speak for itself.
Yeah, well, like, as I say, I mean, it sounds fine to me. And Mrs. Brown has her hands up. She can respond to me. It was a suggestion for her.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. So we can go to Mrs. Brown. I think so. I would say those items that you mentioned, if if you're comfortable with that, we would include them as stipulations if that would help allay Mrs. Brown's concern. Again, not in any way try to sway. You're free, obviously, to vote however you wish. And then another suggestion I would say is you reference to working with the community. So what we also often have other applicants do is provide a contact number that is reachable by someone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so by someone with authority to actually address the complaints at the moment.
Yes.
So if you would do that, I think that would also go a long way.
That's what I was
yes.
going to suggest, that the contact information would be provided should there be a complaint, because I noticed you stipulate, or you stated rather, occasionally there'll be comedy performances. And so if the comedian's relatively good, there's going to be a lot of ruckus. And if the comedian's not too good, there's going to be a lot of heckling. So you know, that creates a different level of concern for me. And when on those occasions, are you going to have security?
Yes, we are, Mrs. Brown. We currently do a comedy night in DTUT without issue, without a complaint from the neighbors upstairs or any of the surrounding neighbors. From 8 to 10 p.m. It finishes at 10 p.m.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Mr. Chair, then I would ask that you include that in the stipulation about comedy nights, performances, that they would have security.
Okay, understood. Great.
So
So
support this application.
okay, great. So just to summarize here, a couple of things that were said. So we'd stipulate doors and windows closed by 10. That's standard. You offered that from 12 to 2, you would lower the music so it's not as loud. It's more of the noise attenuation. No live music. The phone number, and then for comedy nights, when you do, you will provide some kind of security on those.
So can I just add something? So
yes.
Our business partner, who's a boots on the ground and the manager, he does security for the Ukraine church. Soup kitchen. Is that suffice enough as security for?
As long as you have someone there that's going to manage any noise on the outside and any ruckuses, yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, great. So with those stipulations, Mrs. Brown will be supportive, and I say we make a move to approve. Can I get a quick thumbs up to get a second? Okay, yep, thank you from Barbara. Okay, so I'm going to call the question. Anyone opposed to calling the question? Seeing none, this is going to go as a motion to approve as stipulated. If anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, raise your hand. Otherwise, this will go as an approval. Seeing none, okay, we say thank you very much for coming. Good luck to you. And,
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Mike.
See you, Ben.
Okay, so we are now up to item 4. Do I have the representative for Dispinard Fish, DBA 2 Wheels?
Yeah, Jonathan Chong is the rep. And John, you could unmute now.
Yes, here I am.
Hi, tell us a little about your application.
Yeah, so we're at 1382 Second Avenue. Oh, and I'm the owner operator.
Great.
Representing myself, so I apologize if my presentation isn't as it might be a little more humble, but I think I can answer all your questions. So again, we're at 1382 Second Avenue. We've been here for about a year. We do Vietnamese cuisine. We have about 19 seats. We have one other location on the Upper West Side. This is really just in response to customers just asking if, if they could have some beer and wine with their food. So I don't anticipate more than 5% of sales being beer and wine. We have no bar whatsoever, no open windows, no yard, no outdoor space, ADA compliant, no performances, no live music, no DJ. We're open Monday to Thursday till 10 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 11 p.m. Yeah, so if anyone has questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Oh, great, that sounds very straightforward. So first I'll ask if there's anyone from the public. Seeing none, I will go to Mrs. Brown.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chong. Thank you very much for your presentation. Are you going to have food delivery service?
Yes, we do have food delivery service.
Is that by your establishment or is it another party, third party?
So we use Uber, just the usual guys, Uber, Seamless, DoorDash.
Okay. Is there an affidavit regarding the
Yes, there's
Okay.
one in the application, yep.
on file? Cool.
Okay.
Well, based on your presentation, I can support this application and I move to call. And I wish you good luck. Call the question, Mr. Chair.
Great. That's seconded. Calling the question. If anyone opposes to calling the question, give me a sign. Otherwise, it's going to go to the roll as a motion to approve. Anyone voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, give me a sign. Okay, seeing none, that is an approval. So we say thank you to you and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Or continue good luck, yes. Great. Okay, moving along on the agenda. Do I have the representative for Mercado Rustico, 1300 Madison?
Yes, hi. We are.
Hi there.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
Very
yes,
well, how are you?
I'm Michel. Good, good. I'm Michel Amrui. I'm the owner of Mercato Rustico, located on 1300 Madison. And this application is to add beer and wine service to our existing establishment. We've been operating for over 2 years, year and a half. I have other restaurants in the same area. And just talking about percentage, we're looking around 70 to 75% food, and the rest is mostly a wine service or beer. We have around 36 seats, so it's a very small place. It's ADA compliance, no live music, and just in-house speakers, classical music.
Great. And you have no outdoor space, correct?
No. Our outdoor space is, well, if we're talking about open street, open restaurant seats, it's part of the restaurant next door. It's not, we don't have it.
Oh,
to answer
okay.
your question.
Okay. Thank you very much.
It's a quiet neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay, so I will go to inquire if there's any members of the public on this application. None, then I will go to Mrs. Brown.
Yes, thank you. Is there going to be
Of course.
food delivery?
Yes, it's gonna be food. Yes, we are a boulangerie, so, and also we serve. We're gonna serve a full menu. So most of our customers that's coming in is mostly coming for the food because we're well known for that. And just to have a glass of wine or beer or sparkling champagne.
I think you misunderstood my question. The question was, will there be food delivery?
No food delivery.
Well, I can support the application because you did say that it was ADA compliant
Yes, it is.
and you have not had any complaints.
Never. We're good. We're a good neighbor operator.
Well, welcome, and I wish you success.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you so
much. Question.
Great, thank you very much. I will second that. If anyone opposes calling the question, give me a sign. Otherwise, we're going to go to the roll. This is a motion to approve on its face. Anyone voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, give me a sign. Seeing none, this is an approval, and thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, next up is Suki Ichiro.
Mandy or Sherry, if you're here, you can go into the participant section. You could click the raise hand icon if you are here. We have someone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
Good. Yeah, I think is Sherry here?
I don't believe we have Sherry.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay. Sure.
Do you want us to come back to you when Sherry's joined us?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. I will move on to the next one and we'll come back to number 6.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Do I have a representative for the next item, India Palace, 401 East 62nd? I think I see someone.
Oh, I see.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm the owner of the restaurant, India Palace. My name is Mahabub Karim.
Welcome.
And it's an Indian restaurant. Location is a 401 East 62nd Street.
Okay, great. Do you have any, will there be any outdoor space in the rear or in the front?
I don't have anything. I put table, but nobody sits, nothing.
Okay, so it's just the indoor space and you won't be using the streetscape either?
No, it's like a sound music. It's like recording music, that one.
And so you won't be using any of the street side?
No.
Okay. Okay, so just for the record, your hours of operation are 11 to 11 daily, 80% food, 20% drink.
Yes.
Is the establishment ADA compliant?
Nobody complains.
Oh, sorry. The question is just, does it comply with all of like the rules regards the American with Disabilities Act?
Yes, disabled people, they can getting in.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to ask if there's any members of the public on this application. Seeing none, I will go to Mrs. Brown.
Yes, thank you. Are there doors or windows to the establishment?
The door.
So you don't have opening windows that open or close?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, based on the information in your presentation, I can support your application and I move to call the question, and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So motion to approve, Barbara seconded. I'm going to call the question. If anyone opposes, let me know. This is a motion to approve. So for the roll, if you're voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, raise your hand. Otherwise, this will go as an approval and we'll say thank you and good luck, sir.
Thank you so much.
Great. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay. Let's see. Does it look like there's anyone, Sherry, who has joined? Oh, I see a 917 number raising their hand.
917 number. When you unmute, can you please identify yourself? If you are muted, you can identify yourself. Is it Sherry?
Hello, can you hear us?
917, you can speak. You are unmuted, and you can.
I think she's probably has trouble getting in, but I can answer the questions. So.
Okay, so this is the application for Suki Ichiro. Can you tell me a little bit about the application, hours of operation, etc.?
Yes, we are a Japanese restaurant, and then the hours of the operation is from Sunday to Thursday, 11 to 10, and Friday and Saturday is 11 to 11 p.m. Yeah.
Great. And I'm seeing a food drink ratio, food 80, drinks 20%.
Yes.
Do you have any, are you going to have any outdoor space?
We don't actually have an outdoor space, and right now we have some tables. It's like we pull up for temporary use, like during the pandemic. So.
Okay. And are you going to apply to keep that temporary space on the street?
Yes.
Okay, so you will be using the city streets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first I'm gonna go to members of the public. Seeing none, I will first go to Barbara.
Hi, it's all my neighbors coming today. This is the Japanese restaurant that I go to all the time when I want to. But you do have extensive outdoor space. Are you going to keep the enclosed shed that you have on the street, on the sidewalk?
I think we are not going to keep that. Yeah.
Because that's very large and really you have used up a lot of the space. I have a problem with, well, even though you saved me during the pandemic, I ate outdoors many, many times there, but it is a dangerous place to have it. So there's a bike lane there. The restaurant is not on the, on the street. And so you sort of have to like dash across as these electric bikes or electric scooters come by with it, but you're still going to keep it and so on. You'll still keep that outdoor shed. The outdoor shed is not enclosed. It's enclosed on 3 sides and I felt quite safe in it, but you will be keeping that after it's safer to.
Yeah, so I think after pandemic, we are not going to use that. Yeah, so it's just for temporary, but even right now, for now, we don't even use it. Yeah, because we only use the one right outside of our space, but not the one outside of on the road. Yeah.
The one outside, I would like a stipulation that's either removed or made much smaller. It's hard to walk on the street, as you know, and it's also enclosed. It is, basically an indoor space on the sidewalk. The other thing that I'd like to ask, I know you were closed for a little bit. Everything has been, do you have an A rating now? Have you gotten the rating back?
Actually, it's a new company, so we haven't have the health inspector come to us yet, so
you're new. I didn't think I recognized you. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, good luck. I would like a stipulation about the outdoor because it's difficult to move. I love outdoor spaces. It saved me during pandemic. I hate to complain about it, but it is an unusually large space.
So Barbara, to clarify, are you speaking to the roadway?
I'm really talking about the sidewalk. It's a very large enclosed shed on the sidewalk, and it can't even be close to the 8 feet that's necessary with the tree pits and everything else that's there.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay, next I will go to Cause.
Yeah, further with Barbara's question, this has been going on and sidewalk structures are illegal. So this is something we really have to discuss at Street Life. It's absolutely, and to have a structure on the sidewalk and to have less than 8 feet, the people have to walk in the street or in the bike lane and get knocked over. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it is time that we start enforcing the illegal or enforcing the structures that are illegal. And if this is illegal, then it should come down. And that should be a stipulation.
Great.
And what's in the street? Is it a structure or just tables and chairs?
It looks like a wooden structure enclosed on 3 sides.
But does it have a roof? Or
yeah. I'm looking at a picture. I mean, I don't know how old this picture is from Google, but it does look like it has a roof.
And this is the thing that we also have to discuss in new business, that I think the committee should have photographs, current photographs of the front of the establishment, the sidewalk and the street. Then we don't have to keep asking the questions. We can see what is there, whether it's legal or illegal. And this is illegal on the sidewalk and it should come down, and that should be a stipulation. Sorry about that, but this has been going on too long and the pedestrians are being inconvenienced. I know the restaurants are hurting, but there's other ways to do it the legal way. And this has been basically DOT's fault with not enforcing. And I'm sorry the restaurants have to spend so much money putting them up. Now they're going to have to spend so much money putting them down, all due to the ineffectiveness of DOT. Thanks.
Mrs. Brown?
Thank you, Cause. You're echoing my concerns, but I'd like to ask about delivery services. Are you offering delivery services?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, is your restaurant going to provide it, or are you using outside source?
We have both.
Do you have an affidavit in place?
Yes.
Okay.
1 second. Yes, I see the affidavit included.
Are there any open windows at your establishment?
No.
Okay. All right, then, well, I can support this application with the noted stated stipulations. Move to call the question, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so just to clarify, we're saying in terms of the sidewalk enclosure that you're going to either remove it or reduce it to comply with the DOT regulations of the 8-foot clearances and et cetera, correct?
Yes, actually it got approved from the DOT, like from the previous owner. So yeah, but we were actually, we are planning to take it down or, make the size smaller. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll stipulate to that then. In that case, I'll take Mrs. Brown as the approval. Barbara, your hand wave as the second. And then we will, if anyone is opposed to calling the question, let me know. Otherwise, we will approve as stipulated. So if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause or abstaining, give me a sign. Otherwise, we will approve as presented with the stip. Okay, thank you and good luck with your new ownership.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay. Last but not least, Mr. Kelly. So this is for Enzo Group, the two items at the end.
Michael, you're still muted. You can unmute.
There we go.
There you are. Hello, Michael.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well. How are you?
I'm well. Sokol Kachi is with me. He's labeled as dog, but barking dog. And this is an on-premise liquor license application for Enzo Group NYC Inc. at 1645 3rd Avenue. It's at the corner of 3rd and 92nd Street, and the premise formerly occupied by Corner Cafe. We're going to be a full-service Italian restaurant being opened by the owner of the Barking Dog, which is a few blocks away at 1678 3rd Avenue. The inside will have 40 tables with 130 seats and 10 at the bar, all on the first floor, using approximately 4,200 square feet. There'll be background music only. The hours of operation will be 10 a.m. to 1 a.m., 7 days a week at the latest. The premise is ADA compliant. We will participate in the open restaurant seating program. On 3rd Avenue, we will be using the street. We won't be using it on the side street. There's a fire hydrant there. We would have a structure in the street. And we would also be using the sidewalk. There would be no structure on the sidewalk. They're not allowed. There's no known violations from the previous owner. There is no backyard or any other outdoor seating. Sokol, who manages the Barking Dog, will also be managing this location with the same professionalism he has with it. And if there's any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Great, thank you very much. I will first ask the members of the public on this item. Okay, seeing none, I will invite committee members to weigh in. See, Michael, you did such a good job answering questions.
That's what I try to do.
Mrs. Brown.
Mr. Kelly, thank you for making my job a little easier. You answered all my questions. I'm glad to see that that spot is going to be filled with a restaurant I enjoy. And all I can do is wish everyone the best. I'm looking
Thank
forward.
you.
I'm 2 doors down from you. I'm right next to the Equinox.
Okay.
So, welcome to the neighborhood and good
Thank
luck.
you.
Move to call the question.
Great. All right, that's a call. Barbara's seconding with her wave. Does anyone oppose calling the question? Seeing none, then this will be a motion to approve as presented. Frank, are you for the next one, or are you opposing this?
Oh no, he's not posing it. He just has a in regards to the first application, he needs to speak on that.
Okay, so all right, let me finish the roll then. Okay, so if anyone's voting no, not voting for cause on the first Enzo 1645, let me know. Otherwise, this is a motion to approve 9-0. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. Frank, we'll come back to you. Let me just finish this last item. And okay, so Michael, what's the other Enzo?
Okay, so this is also an on-premise liquor license application for Enzo Group. This one is at 1649 3rd Avenue between 92nd and 93rd. It's right next door. It was formerly occupied by Fetz, which closed a while ago. This will be a dessert bakery cafe classified as a tavern on-premise liquor license because there's no full kitchen or full restaurant menu. It's basically assisted dessert place to the restaurant. We'll have 20 tables with 68 seats and a bar with 6 seats, all on the first floor using approximately 2,000 square feet. That place is also ADA compliant. The dessert place is right next door to our new restaurant. We'll be open the same hours, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m., 7 days a week. Background music, no outstanding violations we could find. We would be participating in the open restaurant seating, a small street structure on the street, and just tables and chairs on the sidewalk, no structure on the sidewalk. There's no backyard or any other outdoor seating, and SoCo will also manage this location.
Wonderful. Oh, okay, and the dog approves as well. Do we have any members of the public on this item? Okay, seeing none, then I will ask for input from a committee member. Barbara, motion to approve? Okay, she's giving me the nod yes. Do I have a thumbs up for a second? Great. Anyone opposed calling the question? Okay, seeing none, so this will go as a motion to approve. If you're voting no, not voting for cause, raise your hand or give me a sign. Otherwise, we will say thank you and good luck on both locations.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Likewise. Okay, so I think let's go back up to Frank. You had something on item 1?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my hand. I thought we were finishing that case, so I didn't want to miss it. On the first case that we did, I misspoke. I said that there were no tables and chairs outside, but there is indeed 5 tables and 10 chairs on the sidewalk. It's actually on your plans, so I should have realized it.
Okay, and that's conforming with the well, I guess what would have been submitted to DCA.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then we have, do we have any old business? Cause?
No, actually, this is new business. So do you want to
I
take
didn't see any other hands, so go ahead.
There's regulations coming up concerning propane tanks on the street. Are we going to be addressing this?
We should.
And also, can we start getting photographs from the applicants of the front, the sidewalk? We've talked about this for a while, and I asked Will, and he said to refer it back to the committee. So I'm taking it up at the committee again.
Yeah, no, I did see the correspondence back and forth. I would be supportive of adding this to the checklist for the applicants, unless there's anyone that opposes or has any issue with it, but I will take the hands and we can go from there. All right, so is there anything else before I go to Barbara and Mrs. Brown?
I think that's it, unless I think of something else.
Okay,
Thanks.
sounds good. Let me go to Barbara next.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now I do it too quickly. I'm a little confused. I know we had a meeting last night and I've heard Kaz say a few times that it's illegal to do something. Do we know today what's legal or not legal? The Japanese restaurant said that they were approved for their outdoor structure. I'm going to trust that that's true. I'm not going to question anybody. I don't want to hold something against somebody if it's legal today, even though it may not be approved in sometime in the future. Can we determine, I mean, Kaz, you may know more or so on, what's legal today and what should be stipulated today?
I was not able to attend the meeting yesterday, so I will let Kaz speak to it because I know he's.
We didn't get much out of the meeting at first, you know.
No, the meeting wasn't really. What was basically given, and I'm sure Mike and whoever else is on can agree to this or disagree, when it was first started, sketches went out from DOT that showed the restaurant what should be there. And it was a platform with 3 sides closed, about 3'6" or whatever, 18 inches wide, with no roofs, no structures. It was a platform with the 18-inch sides. There were no structures on the sidewalk, period. There were allowed to be tables and chairs, but no structures. That was from the start. If you applied to the DOT for open restaurants, all you gave them was the dimension, the length, the width of your space that you were looking for, and that was it. They did absolutely no inspection. They allowed these permanent structures, these illegal structures on the sidewalk that everybody has spent thousands and thousands of dollars building, which have been illegal but have never been inspected. And even DOT now, and they have told me, and I've given them certain structures on the sidewalk that leave 2 or 3 feet. Yes, they are illegal, they will come down. That was 12 months ago that they said it. The structures are still there. It is absolutely a free-for-all in New York City. It's worse than the Wild West.
I'm not as worried. I understand the concern of lack of enforcement, but I'm wondering what needs to be enforced. I would, you know, and you're saying that there should be no structures on the sidewalk. They're all illegal. And so when a restaurant says we got approval for our structure on the street, you're
all the application was that you gave the DOT dimension of the street side and the sidewalk. There was nothing about the structure that you were going to build. The original DOT presentation and text amendment presentation that we were given showed no permanent structure, and even the text amendment, the zoning, when we went for the text amendment, all existing enclosed structures were to be grandfathered. There were to be no new enclosed structures on the sidewalk, period. You walk around now, there are more and more and more every single day of these permanent structures. So when people applied to DOT at the beginning, they submitted no plans, nothing except dimensions of what you were looking for. And DOT automatically said yes.
okay. So I'm going to repeat myself, and I don't know if Russell knows more or anybody else knows more. I'm still confused with what you say. I understand what you're saying is that you thought it was going to be one thing and they were okayed. The fact that DOT okayed them, what I'm concerned about is what stipulations should we be giving to restaurants? Should we be saying we stipulate yet you do not have an outdoor? And I don't want to say that if they're legally able to have it is a concern I have. I'm not positive I feel that way, but that's a concern. There's a difference between something being illegal and not being enforced. If a car goes backwards, they're doing it illegally, whether they get a ticket or not, So I still don't understand it. And I wonder if we could look into it unless somebody has something else to say about it.
Well, I have no idea, because now currently, it was supposed to be permanent. Now it's on hold. So theoretically, the zone amendment that we voted on has been nullified and void. So there is no zone amendment. So does that make 77th, 79th Street illegal? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
So just to clarify, the zone amendment I thought was for the streets, not the sidewalk.
And the sidewalk, no structures, no enclosed structures on the sidewalk. The current enclosed structures were grandfathered. There were to be no new enclosed restaurants. Okay. That's what we voted on. That's what we were led to believe. Now, whether that was true or not, I don't know. But if you look at the zone amendment and all the pictures that the zoning committee and the zoning provided to us, all the documentation that DOT provided to the restaurant and on their website, it showed no structures. Do we have any of the current lawyers on, or still around? Is Mike Kelly around?
No, he's dropped.
He's gone, yeah.
All right, let me work
but
in reverse.
It's a mess and nobody knows what's going on. And, and this after the meeting last night that we wanted to be at the table to make the rules. And I don't know where we are at the moment. What's going to happen is from last night, we learned there's multi-agency committees drawing up rules, and DSNY is one of them, DOT is the other, and I don't know who else there is. Nobody seems to know, and DOT is not very cooperative in getting back to us on what is actually going on. So it's we will be told the rules at the 11th hour, and they will go into effect at 12 midnight.
Okay. Let me go to Evan since I've not heard from you today.
I was just this is from earlier, gonna second Kaz's suggestion about photos, but the only thing I was gonna offer for consideration, maybe for you, Abraham, or for Kaz, or if anyone has a brilliant idea, is if you ask people to take photos of their own space, that probably leaves some room for gamesmanship on, what the current state of their front of their facility looks like. So if there's any way, and I don't know what that means without causing burdens for the committee or our staff, to confirm that whatever a restaurant sends us is actually representative of what their front looks like, since obviously if there are problems, they may fix them before they send a photo. I just wanted to flag that for consideration.
All right, thank you for that. Mrs. Brown.
Thank you. We used to have a board member, Evan, Larry Parnas,
Mm-hmm.
and he would go around to the various applicants' establishment and take photos of their facade, and it would be discussed during the meeting. And oftentimes it was in conflict of what the applicant had stated. So I tend to agree with you. Aside from that, is it possible, Mr. Chair, to invite DOB and DOT to come to our next meeting so that they can clarify what the rules are, with regard to the sheds and what's temporary, what's been grandfathered in, so that we can rule accordingly. Is that possible? And also with regard to causes concerns, which I echo, could we also amend the application to include, to verify if an applicant leaves blank ADA compliant, yes or no, that we verify that, or ask them to go back and fill it in. And also too, with regard to the complaints, because I know on many of the applications, that part of the application has been left blank. And so I know staff is very, very busy, but we need to find a means of verifying whether or not they've had complaints. I know in the past, Marco used to check, for complaints. So I don't know how we want to handle it, but it needs to be verified. So I'd like the application to amend some of these concerns. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Russell, also good timing, since I think some of those verification questions will apply to capacity at the board office and whether we think that's a useful approach.
So yeah, so I think for that, I would want to check with Will and see what is possible. I mean, I will say, well, yeah, let me check with the office and see what's doable. I think in terms of the sort of larger question of, so I also kind of, I basically, I think, have kind of the same question that Barbara had. And I think I'll just, my understanding here in terms of what's been done and where things are is the zoning text amendment that we approved that was struck down had to do with the permanent program. So there's a temporary open restaurants program that's going to be in place essentially until the end of this year. And really the discussion has been what the permanent program, which is going to take effect next year, is going to look like. And so the first part of that was a zoning text amendment to make needed zoning changes that would be necessary for there to be a permanent open restaurants program, and that was struck down. And then there's also going to be rules for the permanent program. We don't yet know what those are, and DOT is in the process of writing those. So that's sort of the current state of it. So I think in terms of a structure being illegal or not, there are rules about under the temporary program about what the rules are for that. It's pretty lax, and even to the extent that there are rules, it's certainly true that it seems like they aren't really being enforced. But I mean, one of the big ones, I don't, so there's not really, I don't think, rules at this point in terms of really, what the structures can be like or not. My understanding is that it's pretty open-ended in that regard under the temporary program for the rest of the year. There are currently rules in place about clearance, and a lot of the complaints that we've gotten and a lot of the complaints that we've made to DOT that we forwarded on and that we've made ourselves have to do with not having the 8-foot clearance, because that is a clear requirement even under the temporary program. And there are a lot of places that aren't doing it. And there are a lot of places where it's very obvious that they're not doing it. It's clearly not accessible on the sidewalk. So, that's one issue. In terms of whether structures are going to be allowed or not on the sidewalk or the street in the permanent program, my understanding is that falls under the heading of the DOT rules as opposed to the zoning. So I think the zoning doesn't address that question. I think the zoning just relates to whether you can have anything, really in terms of outdoor dining on the sidewalk. And then the question of what kinds of outdoor dining structures or not structures, as the case maybe is going to be allowed, that's going to be a question for DOT and the rules that they make. So they're currently making the rules. They have said that they're going to come, well, originally they had said that they were going to come to the community boards once they had drafts of those rules and bring it to the board and get input from the various boards on that. Now I think in terms of, obviously it's all a little bit in flux because of this court decision that struck the whole thing down. They're still basically saying the same thing, which is that they're working on the rules and they're going to come to us and talk about the rules. I think there are a number of folks on the board who would like to hear from them or, weigh in essentially on what the rules should be before DOT comes out with its draft, which I think is understandable and makes a lot of sense because, by the time you have a draft, I do think it's true that, your ability to sort of have an impact on what that's going to be is probably more limited. But anyway, that's so there's a bunch of committees that have been in discussions about it, including the Transportation Committee, because, they're the ones who principally deal with DOT. So that's going to be an ongoing discussion. And then just to address the question that Mrs. Brown had, so far, we've been asking DOT to come, and I think so far they have been reluctant to do so until they have their draft rules ready. But I would say, so we're continuing to ask them to come, but whether or not they're, willing to do so, that doesn't necessarily forestall us from expressing our preferences in terms of what we want the rules to be.
Okay, circling back, Kaz, another round.
Yeah, with Evan's question about how we know what the actual photo is, if you take a photo, it's got the date, the time, and the location. So if they take it like that, we know exactly when it was taken, where it was taken. Just a clarification for the applicant when they submit their photos.
Yeah, I definitely understand his concern. I think I'm open to making that request. I think at least to start for now, we can try to improve to get verification, but I would be supportive of adding that to the request list.
Yeah, and with the photo, with the date, the time, and with the heading, whatever the setting is.
Yep. Yeah, that clearly shows the address, etc., sidewalk and street, if any. Okay, good. Then Barbara.
I always do it too fast. Two things. I just want to add something, and I have a question mark at the end. Russell said, I think another, not only the clearance, but I think there wasn't supposed to be enclosed sheds. Am I right about that? And I'm not talking about in the future. I'm talking about a year ago. Am I right that that was stated, that it must be a three-sided shed rather than a four-sided shed?
Then maybe I don't know. I don't remember.
That was my memory, but I'm going to bring up something else, and I'm going to ask. I'll tell you what my feeling is, but I'll ask the committee. I have a tough time giving stipulations about the sheds at this point when we're not over the pandemic, if it's not illegal. So when there was a shed, as I brought up, where there was a clearance problem, and I know for a fact there is because I live here, I feel that should be a stipulation. For somebody, because we have a motion that, when we emote that we don't like this shed or that shed, if it's not illegal and it helps at this time, personally, I have a tough time giving a stipulation. I don't know if others agree, and I wonder if we could discuss it and see what to do in the future. You see what I'm saying, Abraham, right?
Yeah, that given the kind of ambiguity about it and kind of lack of guidance, whether it should be a full, while the intention may have not have been to have these enclosed sheds on the sidewalk, given the way it was done by DOT that pseudo permitted it, whether we should be trying to remove them now before the formal rules are back in place.
And I'm uncomfortable with that, quite truthfully. I have a tough time with that.
Lori has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. I want to echo what Barbara said. I agree that we are not finished with this pandemic. I mean, I know people hate to think about that, but the truth is that it's not over yet. And I think that to make arbitrary regulations about the thing that has really saved a lot. I mean, and it certainly hasn't saved all of them. I mean, we can walk around and see the empty storefronts and the closed businesses all around us, and it makes me feel terrible. But you know, the little that we've been able to do to keep these restaurants in business, I think we should take very seriously and not rush to judgment about getting rid of them when we don't know that this pandemic is done. I mean, it's definitely not done. We do know that it's not done. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I am a very big advocate of accessibility. So if there is an access problem, I think that we should specifically deal with that problem. But I don't think that we should, like I said, make a blanket, you know, a one size fits all regulation for all of them, because we just don't know how this is going to end. That's it.
Okay. Any other feelings on that, how to approach it? Casey?
Hi. Yeah. Oh, sorry about the screaming. It strikes me that we do put ourselves in a tricky situation if we are trying to enforce what we think are the rules, and then afterwards the rules are changed or there's some sort of alteration that we didn't know about or didn't expect. So we've been trying to kind of go forth with what we think are the guidelines or going to be the guidelines. And then in fact, that doesn't turn out to be the case. Then we've kind of put restaurants and put businesses in sort of a strange situation. So that's just something to consider as well.
I agree. We shouldn't be imposing additional requirements if they're not prescribed, and I think that does go to the confusion and ambiguity that we face. So while we may not, like them, if there's been, there's still lack of clarity as to whether they should be there. We shouldn't be imposing our own kind of requirements on vis-a-vis those structures until we get full clarity from DOT and any other responsible agency. Okay. Any other topics? Okay, then if not, I would say we leave it there for now. And Mrs. Brown?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second and granted. Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. All right, thanks, Zach. Back to all.
Stay safe, everyone.